YouTube fam, what is good guys? It's your boy Nightryder, man, and I'm back with another video, and this time I'm gonna be discussing the best PC settings you could possibly get. Now, Modern Warfare has only been out for about a week, and I've had time to mess around with the settings, tinker with certain things. I feel like I finally found something that works for me. Over the time, the more I play the game, I'm probably gonna tweak a little bit here and there. Might update this video later down the road, but I think right now I like my settings where they're at, so I'm about to just show them to you. First things first, guys, if you are new to the channel, man, please, if you could, subscribe, turn notifications so you don't miss it. Anytime I drop a new video, man, I'm gonna be dropping a lot of Modern Warfare gameplay and different content out there, man, so make sure you guys don't miss out. Alright, so let's just get into it, man. First things first, guys, make sure you guys update your graphics driver. If you guys are still getting that notification, man, just do it. Alright, can't hurt. Alright, so let's just get into it. Alright guys, so first we got mouse sensitivity, and I use 8.5. It's a little lower than what I use in the beta. If you guys want to know the DPI I'm using on my mouse, I'm using 500. Usually for FPS games, you're gonna want that at a pretty low number, man. You want a lower sensitivity. Also using 1000 polling rate. You guys want to know that. Vertical sensitivity multiplier, it's just 0.9. 0.9 is just what I preferred. Felt like I just didn't need that. Same with my horizontal sensitivity. These are default. ADS mouse sensitivity, man. You got two choices, either legacy or relative. If you leave this at legacy, if you're aiming down sight, your sensitivity is completely different from when you're not, and it's pretty inconsistent. I like to leave this at relative, man. Low zoom, high zoom multiplier 1. You could probably push this even lower because this is referring to sniper scopes and whatnot. Sensitivity transition timing, basically the moment at which your sensitivity changes when you're ADSing. I just prefer instant. I don't want there to be a delay. Alright, next we have monitor distance coefficient, and this is for if you're using relative ADS mouse sensitivity. And basically this value is based on a 16:9 aspect ratio. I think default is 1.33. So basically what it is, man, is the percentage of your vertical field of view to synchronize with your mouse travel distance. So basically, for example, if you set the value to 1, then the amount of movement it takes to aim at something, and when you're ADSing, at the top of the screen will be the same amount of movement it's going to take to aim when you're hip firing to the top of the screen. So if you move like 2 inches to the top of the screen when you're hip firing with your mouse, it'll also be 2 inches when you're ADSing as well. And basically you need this when you adjust your field of view and you want your sensitivity to still feel the same. If you didn't reduce the turn rate when you reduce the field of view, then your sensitivity will feel like it increased. And basically how I found this 1.77 value is based on having a 1920 by 1080 monitor. Basically just take the 1920 and divide that by a 1080 resolution, and you'll get a value of 1.77. And like I said before, it's based on having a 16:9 aspect ratio. You could easily just find this value online, guys, based on the resolution that you have for your monitor, as well as what your aspect ratio is. If you guys want, I can put a link in the description for common values you would be using. Alright, so for invert mouse look, I don't know why you would want that on. If you move your mouse down, you also want your crosshair to move down. If you don't, hey man, enable it. Mouse acceleration, mouse filtering, I don't know why you guys want that other than 0. Then mouse smoothing, I just disabled that. Alright, so here are my movement keybinds. Everything below is pretty much default. These are my behaviors. Slide, got tap, crouch and prone is toggle. Reason I don't do hold is I'm already holding down like the WASD buttons all the time. I don't want to have to hold another button for the most part, so I just leave them on toggle. Then to the default to disabled. And for sprinting, I also have toggle on. Alright, for weapons and equipment controls, these are my keybinds. I have a couple things mapped to my mouse. If you guys want to know the mouse I'm using the Logitech G502 Hero. Pretty good mouse for me. For depleted ammo weapon switch, leave that enabled. I don't know why you would put that on disabled. Delay for switching weapon, I think the default's 100. I put this to 40. Basically allows me to switch my weapons faster. I tried putting this to 0, but when you do that, switching your weapons, especially with the scroll wheel, it becomes really inconsistent and you don't usually get the gun you want. Weapon switch wraparound, leave that enabled. For weapon mounting, leave that to a keybind, and I usually toggle the button. I think for weapon mounting exit delay, I think the default is also 100. Put that to 50 so I can do it a little faster, and pretty much leave these to default, at least the ADS equipment. I don't know, you guys want, you can put it on toggle, whatever works for you. Kill streak and vehicles, not really that important. Everything here is default, didn't touch anything. Interface and audio, I don't think really any of these are important. The only thing I really changed was system key behavior. Basically leave it on the game, that way if you press the Windows key, it doesn't bring up the start menu while you're playing. Alright, general tab, field of view, I think default is 80. Put this on 95 so I can see more of the game. Leave this on like 80. You'll have more of a closer look at things. The higher this number, the more you can see of the game. Brightness default to 50. I put this up to 55. Monitor is pretty bright, so make sure you guys just adjust this accordingly. Pretty much everything else is default, and none of this really matters. And then these are my graphics settings. Full screen borderless works fine for me. You can easily alt tab out of the game. If you don't care about tabbing faster out of the game, just leave this at full screen. I think it does increase your FPS a little bit. This is the display monitor I got. I'm using a 2070 graphics card. The monitor is 144 Hz. And then leave this on 100 so you use up your full resolution of your display. Aspect ratio, left this to automatic. Pretty sure it's like 16:9. For VSync, you want to leave this disabled. If you enable it, it'll increase your input lag. And if you're worried about screen tearing, you should just turn on NVIDIA's adaptive VSync. Custom frame rate, I like to leave this on unlimited. Based on your computer performance, you might want to cap it. Video highlights, that's up to you. Colorspace, basically depending on whether you have a monitor or TV, just set the correct one. Details and texture, shadow and lighting, that all depends on your PC performance and what you value, whether that's frames or how the game graphically looks. Some of these don't really affect your frame rate, so you just gotta test it out, see if you got the RAM, see how well the game runs. You might want to turn it off or set certain settings to low. These are my current settings. Probably could push it all to high if I wanted to, but I'm fine with it right now. You can see which settings use up the most memory over here. Decreasing will probably increase your frames per second. Some of these don't have any effect on your RAM usage. Anti-aliasing, left this at default, and I was fine with it. Depth of field, I disabled this. If you want, you can enable it. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know, I just didn't like the blurry effect. Film strength, left that to 0. And if you guys normally play first-person shooters, as gamers, we don't like motion blur, so leave that disabled. Not a big fan. And then leave this to 0 for the film grain. To me, it just ruins the look of the game. Alright, so for my audio mix, I played around with a bunch of these. Studio reference is a default, but I found that to be really low in all areas. I tried all the boosts, but everything just seemed too loud, whether that was just the highs or the lows. Midnight mode is the only one I didn't try. So I found the home theater to be the best. You could hear footsteps really well, you can hear sound effects really well. So just went with that. Master volume, left that at 100. If I were you, I'd probably put the music down really low. Dialogue, left this at 30 because sometimes the announcer's volume is too loud over the game. So put that to 30, and then effects, I just max it out. Joke music, left that enabled. Hit marking sound effects, I use the classic ones, but switch it back to a new one. Voice chat, only thing I did was just increase my mic volume and voice chat volume, put that a little louder since I set this to home theater. And I pretty much mute everybody but my party man. And yeah guys, that's pretty much it. If you guys found this helpful, please give the video a thumbs up. If you guys weren't sure of some of the settings to use, hopefully this cleared some things up. If you guys have any questions, man, just drop them in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer them. Appreciate y'all rocking with me today. Much love. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I'm out. Peace. God bless.